So we are busy marking exercise 5.3. Then you've got number 1A up until D. First mark, and then I'll ask if there's any questions. I think most of it would have been pretty straightforward to you guys. And the nice thing was that you can actually go and double check with your calculator, no?
And this exercise was fun. It was
No, wait. Are you talking about this one? Yes. Okay. She's asking, do I have to write that one at the top? If you don't write it at the top, it's actually going to look like this. 5. No. And a fifth and 5 are two totally different things. Okay. So you have to have the one at the top. Yes. Did you? So then what did you? Oh, you mean this yellow one over here? That? Yes, yes. Meaning not there. Positive 1. You don't have to. No. That's the thing. We don't usually write that when it's a positive 1. It won't be wrong if you did, no? But it's exactly the same thing. Okay. Right. So someone just asked, are we going to go through this? So what you would have done here is that 5 to the power of minus 1 is actually 5 to the power of minus 1 over 1. No. And because I wanted to make the exponent positive, I'm going to take the base and the exponent and move it to the other side of the fraction. And that is why it becomes 1 over 5 to the power of positive 1. Mark. No? Yes. Yes. Yeah, I'm getting to that one. Okay, so is everyone fine with A? Okay. The only difference with this one and B, let me just make that a 6. Okay, so minus 6 to the power of minus 1 is the same as minus 6 to the power of minus 1 over 1. Now, this minus in front, that one. Remember we said when we have fractions, you can either say, if it was a half, no? You can either put the negative in front, or you can put it at the top, or you can put it at the bottom. All of those options is exactly the same thing. So you'll see that what I did is I played very safe and put the negative in front. So I didn't put it specifically with a 1 or specifically with a 6. Okay, you guys fine with that? These no. Oh. Huh? Yeah? The next one maybe explains it a bit better. Okay, so at C, because there were now brackets around it, it means that this to the power of minus 1 applies to the minus and to the 8. No. Okay, so when I move it, you'll see the minus and the 8 both move to the bottom. That's why my negative now is at the bottom. Okay, but if you wrote that final answer as equal to minus 1 over 8, we just said that what's written here in yellow or orange, whatever you want to say, and what's written there is actually the same thing. No? Okay. Right. Then D, same thing. I moved that to the bottom of the fraction, so it becomes 1 over 3 to the power of 2. And 3 to the power of 2 will be 9. Yeah. 1 over 9. Yeah? Oh. As long as you understand the steps, because later on you're not going to have numbers, which you can double check on a calculator. You're going to have unknowns. Okay. Right. Can I skip? Okay, there's E. So you'll see that I moved the full minus 2 with the exponent to the bottom. What are you busy with?
No, she's just
Okay, let me leave. I can't see. Okay, so minus 2 to the power 3 is the same as minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2. Right, and that's why I then get negative 8 at the bottom. Now at F, does that minus 3 apply to this negative? No. So you will see that I rather put it in front and then say 1 over 4 to the power of positive 3. And then that 4 to the power of positive 3 will become 64. Yes.
For E, do we have to add the bracket?
At the bottom,
Yeah.
at this step. Okay, so if you did not add the bracket, this means that that to the power 3 only applies to the 2. But when I put it around, it means it applies to the negative and the 2. In this case, it wouldn't have made a difference in your answer. But I'm training you for 10, 11, 12, no? And then it's going to make a big difference.
Oh. Okay, now I understand.
Now I verstaan. You prating mengels. Huh? Right, can I skip? Okay. 2A. Now, this step you did not have to write if you didn't want to. Basically, what I wanted you to see is that whatever was written in the bracket, once I change that exponent to a positive, it means what was in the bracket will switch around. So it becomes 2 over 1 and then actually to the power of positive 1. And 2 over 1 is just 2. Yeah. I'm just showing the extra steps so everyone knows what's going on. But if you understand it, then you can skip from here to there. Okay. Yes. One B minus 1 over 6. Oh, D. Yes. If you left it like that, it would still be correct. It depends on what the instructions say.
Okay.
But
For example, by 2B or 2C,
mm,
man did simplify. So 2
I did simplify.
yeah. Would be 1.
Oh, you mean just write it as a mixed number? It would still be the same thing, and we're not that concerned about whether you write it in the form of an improper fraction or a mixed number. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you give me. Okay. Right. Any other questions? Yes.
So, say you always, it's a negative fraction, the final answer is a negative fraction, then you always put it in front of the fraction.
You could. It
Because
won't be
it's the
wrong.
same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Can I skip? Okay. Right. There's C and D. Again, please remember that if I change that exponent to a positive, it basically what was inside the bracket will just flip around. And in this case, because it was all to the power of 1, it will stay just 5 over 3. At D, it's slightly different. So you could have done that yellow, or, whoopsie, or you could have said this that will switch around, meaning 3 over 1 to the power of positive 2. And then you can say that will be 9 or 9 over 1.
Dat hulle kreasie klas bymekaar kom, maar juffrou dit 2 julle sal ontvang. As julle asseblief sal dit gaan dat julle kan betyds 9:30 by die skool aan die kant wees. Al die leerders wat saam gaan na
That's none of you, né?
onmiddellik na meneer Kreer.
That's what I'm saying, none of you. And I thought the can't. Okay, any questions at D? Can I skip?
Yeah, man.
Okay, there's E and F. Yes. Fine. You left it out. Yeah. 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 There. Oh, yeah. You could. We don't do it in grade 9 that much, but in grade 10 and onwards, we would ask you to leave your answer in exponential form. So that means I've got to stop here. I've got to stop where I still have a base and exponent. You're not allowed to give that. Okay. I'd accept both. Yeah. Yes. 4/1. Yes. Okay. Any other questions at E or F? You guys good? Right. Can I skip? Okay. There's 3A and B. Now, over here, they started mixing it up. So at 3A, you will see that we are multiplying and the bases are the same. So then we're using law 1, which says that we then add exponents. And 5 plus -3 will be the same as 5 minus 3. And that means that I end with 2 to the power of 2. Or if you simplify it further, that will be 4. Okay, then the same at B, but now we are dividing. So now they're using, or they want me to use law 2, dividing powers. So can you see base is the same and we're dividing. So what do we do with exponents? Subtract. No. So I say 3 minus the -4, and these two negatives will become a positive, and 3 plus 4 will give me 7, and you could have stopped there, or if you maybe simplified, 4 to the power of 7 will give you 16,384. Yeah. You could have skipped from here. You would get your first mark. This was a straightforward one. So there. And depending on what the instruction said, if they said you must simplify fully, then you had to go for that one. Yeah. Okay. Can I skip? Any questions? Okay, there is C and 4A. Okay, so at C again we are multiplying. So first look at the coefficients. The 2 times the 3 gave me that 6. And then you will see that my basis further on was A and A and A. So then, because bases are the same and we are multiplying, I say base will stay A. And then I'm going to add all my exponents. So -2, oopsie, -2 plus the 3 plus 0. And that will give you 1. I wrote that 1 there just to show you what the answer would have been, but you could have left it out. That's why I wrote it in orange. Okay. You guys good? So you could have just said 6A. Okay, now at number 4, and I'm assuming that some of you might have made the mistake of trying to add exponents here. Okay? So if that was you, dan moet jy wakker slaap. Okay? Because what are we doing here? We're adding. And our rule says that base must be the same, which it is, and we must be multiplying. Right? So that is why I could not use that rule here. So you will see that I simplified each one of those terms separately. So 2 to the power of -2 will become 1 over 2 to the power of 2. And then 2 to the power of -3 will become 1 over 2 to the power of 3. Now, I simplified each one of those fractions. 1 over 2 to the power of 2 will become a quarter. And 1 over 2 to the power 3 will become an 8. And now I can go and add them. Okay, you'll see that I leave out the step where I first make denominators the same, yada, 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 because it's not saying without the use of a calculator. So I could put that into my calculator and just get the final answer. Okay, you guys good?
Yes.
Right, can I skip? Okay, so it's going to be the same thing for the whole of 4. Okay? So if you made that mistake, you're probably going to have to write it off. So it'll be 4 to the power of 0 minus 4 to the power of minus 1. Anything to the power of 0 will give me 1. And then 4 to the power of minus 1, I wrote as 1 over 4 to the power of positive 1, but I just don't write that 1. And then 1 minus a quarter will give me 3 quarters. And then the last one, again, we are doing normal addition and subtraction. So you could not use that law 1 or law 2. Okay, I had to do each of those terms separately, simplify them separately, and then once we got normal numbers, I could then go and add and subtract. So 3 to the power of minus 2 is actually 1 over 3 to the power of 2, and that is a 9. 9. Okay, then 1 over 4 to the power of minus 2. To get that exponent positive, I'm going to move it to the top. So it becomes 4 to the power of positive 2, actually over 1. But we don't have to write the over 1. No. Then 15 to the power of 0 will be anything to the power of 0 is 1. Okay, and that last bit, the minus 10, stays like it is. Okay, so 4 to the power of 2 is actually 16. So now when we get to here, you can see that it's normal addition and subtraction. So I first said 16. Okay, so a 9th plus 16 will be 16, and a 9th plus 1, 17, and a 9th minus 10, 7 and a 9th. Or if you used your calculator, it would have given you the 64 over 9. Yes.
Ja, maar vir die berekening van Natie, hulle wag vir jou agter by die byskool van Natie, onmiddellik na die byskool agter.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you can get your mark for working outside the last day.
Now, you would get your marks. Okay, so you're probably going to get a mark for this one. Then for the 16, you will get a mark for knowing that 15 to the power of 0 is 1. And then for the final answer.
Okay, so, but we also, so now basically if we did write the first step, we would still write.
If you only wrote this step, then you would have gotten your marks like that. And yeah.
Okay, so now I get back.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Okay, now, can I skip?
Yes, ma'am.
What we're doing now is different bases, but same exponents. So what we're going to get now is the bases are different, but the exponents are the same. Now you'll see, very important, we can only use this at multiplication or division. Okay, so very important. Only when we multiply or divide, then I can use this rule. Right, so I'm first going to show you the long method, and then from that we'll get the rule, and from there on use the shortcut. Okay, so example 1. 2 to the power 3 times 3 to the power 3. That, if I were to write it out the long method, is 2 times 2 times 2, and then 3 times 3 times 3. No. Okay, but hold on. Now, what I've got there, I'm just going to group it slightly different. So I'm going to say, take one of the 2's and one of the 3's, and then one of the 2's, one of the 3's, and then one of the 2's, one of the 3's. So can you see I still used 3 2's and 3 3's? I just mixed them up a bit. No, because now that green part is going to give me 2 times 3 is going to give me 6. And the orange one, 2 times 3 is going to give me 6. And the blue one, 2 times 3 is going to give me 6. And that is the same as 6 to the power of 3. What? Yes. Okay, but hold on. Do you guys, you fully understand how I got up until there? No? Okay, but obviously we don't want to use that long method. No? So look at what we ended with, 6 to the power of 3. And look at what we started with. 2 to the power of 3 times 3 to the power of 3. Can you see that they both to the power of 3? And how do you think we got to that 6? We said 2 times 3. No. So the shortcut. Listen. So the shortcut would have been, as my pen net sal saamspeel, does hy? 2 times 3 to the power of 6. And that's how we got to that answer. So I multiply the bases. No? The exponent stays the same. No. So what I want you, you can write it now just to see. Yeah. Shibbit. Sorry. Woo. Excuse. Ek is nou hier met die 6e besig. Sorry. Dankie tog. Thanks for seeing that. Okay. So can you see that I multiplied my bases, the 2 times the 3, and the exponent was the same and it stays the same. No. Okay. So let's use that shortcut down here. So a to the power of n times b to the power of n will be a times b to the power of n, meaning you could have skipped to this. ab to the power of n. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to have brackets because let's say I take these brackets away. Who does that n apply to now? Only the b. No. So in this case, the brackets is very important. Okay. Do you guys think you more or less get it? Yeah. There's a few more examples. Wait. Yeah. No. I showed you this so that you could see how we got there. But in the test or in the homework, we are going to use these shorter steps. You use the shortcut. Okay.
Ma'am, so basically this is just timesing the base.
Yeah. That's it. In a nutshell.
When you times the base, you always put them in brackets.
Yeah. At the first example, when it was 2 times 3, the answer is just 6. So would it be necessary to have brackets here? No, because there was just one thing. No. But in the second one, it was very important to have the brackets because there was 2 things, A and B. So then brackets is important. Oh, you mean over here? Yes. Because again, if I took those brackets away, it would look like 2 times 3 to the power 3. Yes, yeah. Right, can I skip? Okay, so from here on, I'm going to write it like I want you to write it in a test. Okay. Example 2. What we've got here is, instead of multiplication, we now have division. No. And my exponent here is wrong. Sorry. It must be must look like that. Okay, you guys good? Okay, so we said this rule we can only use when we multiply or divide. Okay, now in this case, because we don't know what A and B is, the only thing that you could do here is say A divided by B in brackets, and that to the power of n. Because base wasn't the same, but exponents were, so all I did is I divided the bases, and then that answer I said to the power of n. You guys get it? Okay, so let's apply that to example 3. Okay, so over here, can you see that my exponent is the same for both? They're both to the power of 5. So that is why my first step would be 24 over 6 in brackets, and then to the power of 5. Now, once I've done that, can't I simplify inside the bracket? And that will give me 4 to the power of 5. Can you see now I don't write my brackets because I just got one thing? No? So if you wanted to, you could still stick with your brackets. It's not wrong. No? But it wasn't necessary. Okay. Any questions? Yeah.
Okay, so you can probably not leave like the second step.
No. Write the second step. Okay. Right, can I skip? Okay.
Dames en heren, kry asseblief die leerliste vir die afkondigings.
There's one more and then it's homework. So quick. No. I'm going to write, you copy while you listen.
Van hier Amerika, nummer 2. Karen toetsteer, ekonomie, graad 12, of wat ek in vakke ook toe. Van Thailand, uittekenbriefie, Regana, Titus, uittekenbriefie, onderhoude baadjies, preferred. En dan ook sal ek 'n koppel met ook na die kantoor kom asseblief. En Johanna uit die Tula, uit die to Miss van Science classroom in 8, please. Drama club, helpers van Nippendag, nog 18, nou vir die pauze. Meneer en mevrou vliegje kaartjies by kantoor beskikbaar en dan 10 op 'n kaartjie, nog net 3 weke voor die show. Redenaars in die danskursus, rede in kamer 18 en in kamer 9 beskikbaar, geld in 9de maand in Tiksies, 10 maand in Wes. Volgende redes met die begin van pauze in kamer 4 aanmeld.
There's homework. Everyone finished here? There's your homework.